If you want to earn more money, then you're going to need to change your frequency. You've probably heard this a bunch, and you think that if you just think positive thoughts and just think about money, that your frequency will change and money will randomly fall in your bank account. As lucky as you are, I'm sorry to tell you, that's probably not going to happen. But there are some things you can actually do to change your frequency and start importing more money into your life. Let's get into it. So, what is frequency? Firstly, you've got to understand 3 hermetic principles of the universe. I'm not going to go over 7 of them in this video. You got to understand mentalism, correspondence, and vibration. Mentalism simply means that the all is mind. Everything in your reality is made up from your mind. Everything that is in existence was once an idea in someone's mind. Creation is mental, reality is mental, money is mental. Secondly, correspondence. We live in a spiritual, mental, and physical world, and all 3 planes are connected and all 3 planes influence each other. Thirdly, vibration has to do with the vibratory state of your mind. Everything in the universe is vibrating. Nothing is still. This is scientific fact. When you think, your mind creates a vibration. A vibration that is held over a period of time becomes a frequency. Similar frequencies attract similar frequencies. Your frequency is going to dictate what your reality will be. Another thing you need to understand is that the brain is not the mind. The mind is a far more abstract idea. Your brain is essentially the physical realm vessel that carries around your mind. The mind vibrates with speed, similar to the spiritual plane. That's why you can instantly imagine living in a mansion within your mind. It's real in your mind. It's manifested in your mind. It's just not in physical reality yet. Okay, now that we know that, how can we shift our frequency to attract more money? Ultimately, your frequency is just your level of awareness in terms of how reality actually operates. So the word frequency can be interchanged with awareness or consciousness. The richest people have the most grasp on how reality actually works. Now, this doesn't mean that they don't have big goals and dreams or things that people think are crazy. It means they figure out how to actually make those things happen. They become aware of what's needed to get to a specific goal. So if you want more money, you need to become aware of how money operates. Then you need to become aware of how money comes into someone's life. And then you need to be aware of how money comes into your life specifically. Now, I need to give you a little caveat. You need to know your values to make this process work. When you know your values, they help you determine your purpose. When you know your purpose, it determines the best way for you to earn money. So get my free value finder tool in the description below so you can learn your top values, because it's very important when it comes to getting money. Because if you don't know your values, you can stay stuck doing something that pays very little and is not aligned with you. Or, and this is almost just as bad, you can make a bunch of money doing something that's not aligned with you, and that's very dangerous, because when you're broke doing something you dislike, you don't have the funds to ruin your life. But when you have the money and doing something you dislike, you have the income to mess up your life, and you will do it because you're out of alignment. Get the value finder. It's free in the description below. Now, money. Money is simply an idea and an energy. I'm not going to get into the exact working of that. You can watch my How to Build a 100K Business video to understand that more. But money really is an exchange of value. So what's value? Value is simply an emotion. And it doesn't matter what the emotion is, you know. People will pay money to feel differently. So you're probably thinking, well, people are only going to pay for positive emotions, Seth. No, they don't. Some people pay to be afraid. They go to the theater to watch movies that will make them scared.
Wow, you're right.
People pay money for all sorts of emotions. Some people, they pay money to be angry. Have you ever seen those, it's called the Wreck-It rooms?
Oh, yeah.
She wants to go to a Wreck-It room.
It's cheaper than therapy. No, I'm joking.
That's true. Also, the other day, I saw people pay good money to scream into a volcano because they're angry. Even guilt. A lot of people pretend like they have this giving soul, but they're just guilty, and they give away all their money to deal with the guilt they feel inside. Now, you'll likely make more money if you help people get positive emotions, but I'm just trying to show you, it doesn't matter the emotion. Somebody will pay for it. So that covers the first step. You understand what money actually is. It's an exchange of value. Value is just an emotion. Now, you need to become aware of how money actually comes into someone's life. Money enters your life in 3 ways. You either work a job, you run a business, or someone simply gives you the money. Now, I know some of you heard that third one and are like, yes, Seth, that's what I want. Just someone to give me all the money. Please show me how to do that. Gimme, gimme never gets. Don't you know your manners yet? We'll get back to that one in a second. So the first way you're going to import money into your life is from a job. A lot of people are aware that they can get a job to get paid. This is because getting a job is pushed onto you from young and it permeates throughout the masses. Mass consciousness. Mass consciousness is just a mass frequency, a frequency that everyone has access to relatively easily. Getting a job, it starts in grade school, all the way to college and university. The path is for you to get a job. Therefore, you likely have a high level of awareness in terms of what it takes to get a job. You get some skills, you hand in your resume, you go to an interview, you get the job, you do the work, you get paid. Many of you are probably doing this, but a job will cap your income. You're reliant on the success of the company and your working hours, which are not infinite, they're finite. So working a job is gonna cap the amount you can earn, especially if there's not much upward mobility. Secondly, I'm gonna go back to this idea of someone simply giving you money, because I know that one excites you. You know it does, you know. So you can actually get to this point, but it requires some previous steps. Listen, even if someone gives you money, it's still due to an emotion for them. So let's say you're a beautiful woman and there are men who will just spend money on you because it makes them feel good. And maybe they think they have the chance of feeling even better later on.
Wow, that was the most genius way to say that.
Yep. But there's still a level of skill and work involved in your beauty. You may have to know how to do makeup nicely, or you go to the gym so you look more physically attractive, and learning what to do in the gym is a skill. You at least have the awareness of communication, because if a guy comes up to you and says, hi, and you go, run away, you need to run away. Well, whatever money he was gonna end up spending is not happening now, right? So even if you just randomly get money from someone, it will have had to be because of something you've done to become who you are, who is now valuable to someone else for some particular reason. But I don't want you to rely on that. I don't do what's rare. I want you to do what works. And by doing what works, surprisingly enough, you become rare, because so many people just don't do what works. Now, I'm actually gonna revisit this people just giving you money thing one more time later on. But first, we need to ask, when it comes to getting money, what does work? Building a business is what works. Listen, if you wanna rig your frequency to earn more money, then business is going to be the best way to do it. I want you to understand something. Even the people who you think are the biggest spiritual gurus, and they couldn't possibly care about money, they nearly all run a business. I use Sadhguru as an example. Sadhguru has an estimated net worth between 25 and $50 million. Does this sound like somebody who doesn't want to get money? You don't just accidentally drop into $50 million net worth.
Maybe he's just doesn't want money so bad that money just comes to him because,
That's part of it. That is part of it. Why does Sadhguru have an estimated 25 to $50 million net worth? So he's at least worth 25 mil. Why? Because Sadhguru runs a business. Okay, it's not free to go to these massive events he does. He sells courses, he sells coaching. Business people pay him a lot of money for him to help them out spiritually. He runs a business. Even your favorite manifestation creator that told you to do nothing in your house, they run a business. Okay, YouTube pays them and they get views and they create content and they probably sell some other stuff like courses, one-on-one calls, merchandise, whatever it is. Business is what rigs your frequency for monetary success. Why? Remember how I said your frequency is simply just your level of awareness? With a business, it damn near forces you to become more aware if you take it seriously. Why is that? Because you need to learn new things and you need to acquire new skills. When you learn new things, you change your level of awareness. What did I say awareness is? Frequency. When you acquire new skills, you change your level of awareness. Why do you think so many of these big time manifestation creators or personal development people like Tony Robbins, they work with business people, especially successful business people? If you're a successful business person, you have already determined that you have a level of awareness to execute things, to manifest things, to get what you want out of life. So they have a very good chance of getting you a result because you've already demonstrated that you can do it, that you can change your life, that you can make things happen. They're picking the right people to work with. It's not a mistake why they work with business people and entrepreneurs. Let's say you've never run a business before. That's great. That's fine. You're literally going to increase your frequency by learning new things to make your business work. So you ask yourself, well, how does business work? And then you get some awareness around that. So you discover how business works and you realize, oh, I need an offer. What's an offer? And then you learn about that and you get awareness about that. Soon you realize, okay, How do I package this offer? What does it include? What do I need to make? How do I make it? This is literally manifestation at work. Now you're taking ideas out of your head and bringing them into the real world by creating something. You want to learn how to manifest? Run a business. And with each question you ask and each answer you get new awareness, which means your frequency is getting more in line with money. And you may be thinking, Seth, learning these skills is hard, okay? I don't have time for this. I can't run a business. Let me tell you something. You're watching me on YouTube right now, right? And if you're at this point of the video, you've become more aware of reality. And it's only been a couple minutes. So you can go onto YouTube and learn so many skills. It's never been easier. You see how I have this whole YouTube setup? I learned how to do it on YouTube in 20 minutes, okay? You can learn things that took people months to learn in a couple minutes, literally a couple minutes. Take it from somebody who started business at 17 years old, okay? I'm gonna map out some business awareness for you through the story of my first business. So sit down, get cozy. I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm an artist. My very first business was selling my own mixtape. I took ideas from my mind, songs, and recorded them in a computer. And I was 17. I ain't have no money to go and pay some big studio to mix and master up my records. So I learned how to do it myself. And I use YouTube. And I applied for a recording arts program. I got into it. And there was a mentor I had named Fonz. Yeah, you know, like the show Fonzie, right? So his name was Fonz. And I learned how to get better at mixing, but it wasn't finished there. It's not enough. How was I gonna make money from this art I created now? So then I had to figure out, how do I get this on CD? Because we still had CDs then. And I saw this artist I knew named Church Chisel. I saw that he was selling his own mixtapes. And I asked him, yo, where do you get those mixtapes made? And he tells me, you gotta go check this guy, Freddie Fame. So I go all the way across town on the train in the cold. I'm 17 years old, mind you. And I go check Freddie Fame. I go, Freddie, what's good, man? My boy Church, he told me about you. I have these songs. I want to get some mixtapes printed. And Freddie looks at me like, who is this kid? Like, who is this? But he goes, okay, cool. You got the songs? I'm like, yeah. He goes, okay. You got your artwork formatted? I go, what? Freddie goes, yeah, kid, you got to format your artwork. It needs these dimensions, blah, 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 for me to print it. See, look at it right here. I'm like, damn, you can't do it for me, bro? And he looks at me and he says, yeah, but it's gonna cost you more money. And I'm like, shoot, I ain't got no extra money. I will go back home and I will figure this out. And I will see you next week, Freddie. He goes, okay, peace, fam, I'll see you. So I go online. I found out I need Photoshop to do this formatting thing, but I don't have Photoshop. So what am I gonna do? And I'm thinking, I'm sitting there. This is where you start asking questions to build up your awareness. And I start thinking, I go, my boy, Pablo at school, he knows how to get software, and mans didn't have no money. It was high school. I couldn't buy Photoshop for $1 gazillion. I pay for it now though. Adobe's taking a hold of my money. It's fine. But anyways, I go to school. I go check Pablo. I go, Pablo, can you get Photoshop for me, bro? I need it for my mixtape. He goes, of course, man. I'll bring it for you tomorrow.
Of course his name was Pablo.
His name was Pablo, and the man was dealing software. The man was dealing Photoshop and Premiere Pro and all them things. Yo, I didn't even take that in. The man, I got enough software off Pablo. Yo, and he didn't make me pay that time. He started making people pay afterwards. It's like, oh, I have a business here. I wonder what Pablo's up to, man. Shout out Pablo. But I daps Pablo. I say, yo, you're the man, bro. That's networking, okay? That's a business skill. Who knows how to do what you don't know how to do, and how can they help you? So I show up to school. Pablo and I, we got the same class at second period. I get Photoshop for him. I'm like, bless up. Perfect. Can't wait to get back home, get this done. So I get home, throw the CD in the computer, and I thought it was going to be some simple thing to set up. You just click some buttons. But since it's bootleg, I have to figure out all these little weird instructions and damn near blow up my computer. But I figure out how to get it, and I got Photoshop now. But I don't know how to use this thing. Bruv, what is this? This thing is hieroglyphics. You need to be like a coder to know this, right? So what do? I jump on YouTube, and then I learn how to format this artwork, and I get it formatted up. I save the file. I'm like, perfect. On the weekend, I'm gonna go check Freddie Fame. I'm gonna have my mixtapes. So I go on a train again in the cold on the weekend to Freddie Fame spot. And Freddie looks at me and goes, oh, you're back. I'm like, yeah, man, what do you think this was? I'm serious, dog. Yeah, I'm back. Freddie prints me 100 CDs for $100. And with artwork, everything now, I have my 100 mixtapes. But then I realized something. A cold reality has dawned upon me as I'm putting these mixtapes in my JanSport bag. How the hell am I gonna sell these 100 mixtapes? I don't know how to do that. Okay, so I sold some to my friends, I sold some to my family, but then I still had like 90 mixtapes. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Once again, I observed my homie Church, who originally told me about Freddie Fame. And Church, he was a great performer, honestly, one of the best I've ever seen. So he would do these shows and he blow the crowd away. And then he'd go sell his mixtape. And I go, oh, I could try that. So I started doing these open mics and going to these free shows and stuff, but I was not a good performer yet. Not at all. If you saw my first show, you would have thought I was like a ruler just stuck in the middle of the stage like this. Hi. It was not a good time. But when I performed, I would do these showcases and I had to see who got the best reaction at the time. And it was not me. I'm telling you from now. So I had to watch what these people were doing and I became more aware of how to perform better. That's even translated to my YouTube channel, those skills back there. So awareness compounds, frequency compounds. Performance is a form of value. Remember, value, emotions. Performance creates emotions in another person. When you generate an emotion, you can sell something. So I'd perform and I'd sell people my mixtape for 10 bucks. So I became aware that if I provided value, which was giving a good show, I could get paid. Now, something very interesting happened as I started doing these shows and selling these mixtapes. I met this girl, her name was Chelsea Stewart, and her mother managed her. And they would sell Chelsea CDs too, but they wouldn't charge 10 bucks. They had people pay what they thought it was worth. I said, that's interesting. Let me try that and see what happens. So at my next show, when it came time for me to work the room and sell my mixtape, I told people to pay what they thought it was worth. Some people pay me 10 bucks. Some people pay me 20, some 50. Someone paid me $100 for one mixtape. One person covered the entire cost of producing those mixtapes. So that taught me something very, very special. Certain things are more valuable to certain people. So if I find the people who value what I do a lot, then I'll make more money. Whoa.
Honestly, I feel like that's your superpower. Like, you always just figure it out, no matter what it is.
It's willpower. It's willpower. If you want something bad enough, you will figure it out. That's why you need to know your values and ask yourself if you actually want what you say you want. Because if you do, you'll just do it. So after that little event of, getting $100 for a mixtape, I became far more aware. And with the level of awareness I had at that time, at 17, my frequency changed and I turned that $100 investment into over $2,500 because every step of the way, as I learned things, as I gained new skills, I changed my frequency, my awareness, my consciousness. So remember I said I would get back to the people just giving you money for something? Yeah, it's possible if you have a business. It's actually very possible if you have a business. Because when you become aware of how to automate your business and separate your time and effort from your business, people start giving you money. You wake up and you look at your bank and money is randomly showing up in the bank because you got such a high level of awareness that money just walks into your bank account now. Business is the best way to make your frequency elevate and your money will follow suit. Now you know, now you're more aware. Start a business, build a business. If you need my help, link is in the description below. Now, there's something that will prevent you from creating a thriving business, and that's getting stuck in survival mode. You need to conquer that frequency if you want to make big money. So check out this video to learn how to end survival mode for good. We'll see you next time. From me and Wifey, peace.